It feels so good to be wrong, bro. What the did I just watch? Bro, hold on, let me turn this down, bro. He made this nigga leave the cage early. Like, yo, bro, hold on. We gotta talk. Yo, I am outrageously impressed by this nigga Paddy. In my last video, I literally said Paddy doesn't stand a chance against anybody in the top 5, and Chandler has this in the bag. And my oh my, was I wrong. Not only did Paddy win this fight, in my opinion, he done Chandler like the worst. Like one of the, if not the worst that anybody's ever done to this nigga in his whole career, let alone his UFC career. Just hearing the fact that Chandler is 38 years old, right? You can argue that age is a factor, but oh my gosh, Paddy put on a show. Yo, I feel bad for Chandler because like I was talking to my man about this. I was like, yo, bro, let's see, like he might get cut. His dad's might be like 5 losses, bro. But boy, was I. Yo, Paddy put in that pain. So as I'm watching the fight, right, I'm like, yo, Paddy looks nervous, and he did. Paddy looked scared as. But I feel like after that first round, when he got closer and closer to Chandler, this is something that I noticed too, even when Yair was going against Pitbull. Usually, when fighters are afraid of who they're going against, when they get in the pocket and they get to actually feel their weight on them and see if they can sneak any punches in there, like, you know what? I think I got a chance. Not the case for Pitbull. Like with Pitbull, he was too scared to advance, but I saw him get a little bit more confident when he got a little bit closer to Yair across the cage and all that. He was like, you know what? I feel his weight. He's a lot lighter. I think I might have him. But Yair's legs are too long, his kicks are too devastating, and he's way too fast. But oh my gosh, Paddy looked big this fight. Granted, you can say that Michael Chandler was, you know, getting low. Paddy read this nigga like a book. Sneaking in those uppercuts, you know, trying to get it loose. He's not putting too much power in it, not putting too much confidence in it, but he's reading it a little bit. Oh, Volk's about to fight. Whoa! You know, Paddy sneaking in those kicks. Phenomenal performance by Paddy, I'm not gonna lie. I am extremely impressed, and I'm so glad that he won this fight because now I can actually see his hype train going up from here on out. If Paddy can put on a good show, I want to see him get a title shot, or I want to see him go against somebody in the top 5 ASAP. Now, people can say, oh, fuck it, this nigga just beat Chandler. Let's see him go against Topuria now, since Topuria doesn't have a fight right now. And there's talks of Islam going up to welterweight now. Damn, like, there's just so many to choose from. I don't know if I think Paddy and Dustin Poirier might be a good one. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Paddy and Dustin might be a good fight. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I want to see Max versus Dustin that much. I've said that before. I said that might be one of the only options for Dustin right now. But not gonna lie, I would love to see Dustin Poirier versus Paddy. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. There's no way that y'all can skip past that. All right, in New Orleans, right? I feel like that'll be a fire fight. First off, if Paddy loses to Dustin, right? That's not a bad loss. That's not a bad loss to have, especially if he puts on a show. That's not a bad loss to have. And if Dustin Poirier loses to Paddy, that's also not a bad loss to have. Paddy's decently younger than Paddy's decently younger than Dustin. You feel what I'm saying? Paddy's the larger guy, the longer guy. You know, might come in a little bit more heavier. But at the end of the day, that would be a good fight for either of them. And if they both lost, it wouldn't even be that bad on their records, right? Dustin could have a phenomenal win and retire his career against one of the top guys, top upcoming guys in the division, not fighting somebody he already fought, somebody already beat again. He's fighting somebody new and fresh to end off his career. That's a good fight right there. I was proven wrong. And I do not feel bad whatsoever, all right? I was proven wrong, and I do not feel bad. I was a huge fan of Paddy up and coming the last few years, you know, and then realistically, I thought, you know what, I don't think I could see him really dominating the top division, especially against the, you know what, you know, that after that fight. But, you know, Paddy proved me wrong. You know, he beat King Green, but in my head, I was like, you know what, like, really, bro? Like, that's not like he didn't knock him out. He didn't, like, scar him up too badly. He submitted him, so I was like, you know what? I don't see Paddy really putting in too much pain against a guy like Chandler. This might be a really good win for Chandler, and Chandler could hopefully get past without having to have the potential of being cut from the UFC. Bro, Chandler's looking like the new Tony Ferguson right now. Like, you know, minus the championship wins, of course. But man, Paddy put on a show, and I am beyond impressed, and I'm so happy to see where he goes from here on out. But damn, I was talking my shit, bro. I did not think Baddy was going to do this good. Now, granted, I was talking to my friends, and I just legitimately thought it was any man's game. This is a really good fight to have. I was so hyped for this shit. But man, I did not expect the fight to end in the third round, and I did not expect Paddy to do that good of a job. That flying knee was perfectly timed. It was beautiful, and I'm not gonna lie, I saw it coming, bro. I saw it coming, and I'm not gonna say I don't get it, but Michael, I feel like he should have saw it coming. His corner should have said something, because Michael was too addicted to getting low, right? And it's like Paddy is throwing everything to disrupt that low so he can come up, because Chandler's trying to stay low, come up, you know, stay low, come up, you know, trying to swing wildly, right? But Paddy's like, nigga, I know your game plan. I'm disrupting that shit. Same thing with Pitbull. He tried to sneak in low too. Yair was like, hell no. So Paddy was throwing those uppercuts. He was throwing those straights. He was throwing those kicks, right? And Michael had nothing for it. He was throwing those little short hooks to the bottom. Michael had no response for that. So he should have saw it coming. It was only a matter of time that Paddy was going to go up and throw that knee right in his shit. Crazy works, bro. Good shit. I was scared to see Paddy get knocked out, because, you know, he's like, I'm a Scottish guy. We don't get knocked out. And he proved us wrong. And he made that statement true. Let's go fucking Paddy. Let's see what you can do in the top 5. Let's get it.